What's going on, guys? Today we're going to be doing horror effects in Adobe Premiere Pro. Alright, welcome back to another video, guys. My name is Jack. I produce weekly content based around video editing, videography, and how to make money making videos. Subscribe now if you're interested. Today, we're doing horror effects part 3. The other two parts are down below in the description. On screen is Premiere. Let me go ahead and play you what the final result after we do this edit is going to look like. Let me play it to you one more time just in case you missed out. Boom, very simple. It consists of three main elements: the sound effects, the color grading, and the visual effects. The visual effects, obviously, we're using is this kind of jump scare, which is simulated through a very sped up image, and then this blood overlay right here as well. Here is the raw footage right here. I'll drag it out so it's the complete raw footage. Obviously, this is the clip. It is filmed from a nightclub that was doing a Halloween kind of special thing, and I went there and filmed a promo video for them. But this right here is the footage. So how are we gonna replicate that right there? It's pretty straightforward. You guys can download a pack that I've linked below in the description with a simple blood overlay and some suspense and trailer slam sound effects just to kind of paint the picture a little bit better, actually make the viewer feel a little bit on the edge of their seat and stuff like that. Such a big emphasis needs to be put on the soundscape of your horror pieces because that really is what ties everything together. But first off, I just want to actually improve this image. So it's pretty dark in the club. I want to make this more like a horror color grade, right? So I would actually create an adjustment layer. I've got one over here, but to create one, go up here to File, Adjustment Layer. And I'm just going to go ahead and drag this over. Boom. Go ahead and put it right there. And I'm actually just going to do kind of the opposite of what you normally do to color grade, which is I'm just going to completely send it off a cliff. I'm just going to make it go crazy, right? So I'm actually going to come here to my basic, put my exposure all the way up. Yep, all the way up. And I'm going to get my contrast, put it all the way up. And then I'm going to do something else that's pretty nuts as well. And I'm going to put the vibrance all the way up. This is basically going to create like a pretty dirty, messy, edgy color grade, which I'm going to warn you, unless your footage is pretty dark, it could make it a little bit too light. So maybe do a alteration of that depending on how light or dark your footage is. But if you're doing horror, I'm expecting it to be pretty dark, as it is. So doing something like this, maybe obviously not for your entire film, but for some of the more edgy pieces, right? Some of the kind of bits where it's really gory and stuff, an effect like this where you're sending all the kind of colors through the roof can really be crazy. Like look at the scene right here, just from a simple color grade like that. We got the blood popping, we've got everything popping off, but if I turn off this adjustment layer, it's that. That doesn't really look that impressive. That looks like a horror piece, and it looks much more convincing that it belongs in an actual, full feature horror movie or whatever. Boom. So once we've actually done that simple color grade, I want to actually go along to see when my homie's mask is going to be on his face full, and we're going to do the jump scare. So I'm actually going to chop the clip right about there, and actually just go ahead and actually, what I'm going to do is, chop the clip right there, right-click the side, go to speed duration, and actually just put this clip on the right-hand side to 1,000. That's right, to all the way to 1,000. That's going to send it going haywire, and I'm actually going to bring over my trailer slam sound effect and pop that there. But you see how it keeps going for a little while? I want to actually just skip in a little bit, maybe just a few frames, just to maybe about there or so, something like that, just so we're just a little bit in and just cut it off, right? So the mass speed, which is 1,000, only lasts for 4 frames until the sound effect immerses it and cuts it off. Now, what this is gonna look like is kind of like a jump scare, pretty much. So if we actually go back here and give this a play, we can actually see the camera coming up to this guy, and then he's looking at the camera, and then it's that jump scare where you just see for the split second, you see the character just start moving super quickly towards the camera, and then the sound effect takes over and it acts like a jump scare. So I'll play that one more time so you can catch it just in case, and it's gonna be pretty dope here. Boom, just like that, you see the character kind of dive at the screen, boom, and the sound effect obviously takes over to tell us that, he jumped to the screen basically. And, very, very simple after that. All we want to do is go ahead and get our suspense sound effect. Go ahead and put it on board. And let's go ahead and just chop out this second one. Now the suspense is just, I think, 5 different suspenseful sound effects. Let's go ahead and just chop out this second one right here and go ahead and just put it right here before the actual jump scare. And, go ahead and just chop this down, trim it down. And what we've done is we've added a kind of build-up into the music, which is this suspense build-up, which is going to kind of ease us in, if you will, into that jump scare, right? Like I said, it's all about painting the kind of picture with these sound effects and creating a really convincing soundscape to kind of match what's coming next. And you can kind of lead the viewer down this kind of path through the music and the visuals. But now let me give this a play using this sound effect, with this, the suspense sound effect. Boom. So just like that, we've got the doon, doon, like a really suspenseful sound effect as the character turns his head, which actually works extremely well. You know what I mean? It really fits this well. Yeah, I was just giving it another play there. I'm actually really happy with this. And finally, what we want to do is just go ahead and get our blood on there. Go ahead and drag the blood to the top. Go ahead and just, have it coming on right after this little few frames, right? So it kind of blows up. But I want to take this blood, go ahead and do 200 so that it's really, fully taken over the screen. Go ahead and drag it over just to be a little bit in the middle, right? So the blood splat looks like it's coming from the middle. Then I am going to go ahead and just bring it down here. And just like that, yes, I'll put it underneath the adjustment layer, just to create it to be, the same kind of color scheme as everything else. Then I'm gonna go ahead and come out here to the end of the sound effect, come up here to my render in to out, and let's see what this is looking like. And just like that, we have completed the Horror Effects Part 3. If you've made it to this point in the video, let me just watch this again. This is the short sequence that we've created before. With this one, I didn't put the blood underneath it. In retrospect, obviously it does make it far worse quality because we're putting the exposure all the way up. However, this is on purpose because in a lot of horror films, they sacrifice the quality because they're kind of trying to go for this VHS look, which I think we've been able to kind of replicate here. Pretty nice. And, in fact, we could even do the blood just on 100 and, see what that looks like as well. And again, it looks very, very dope. And even including a title underneath that when the blood fades, there's a title or text underneath, that could be very dope as well. But that's the end of the video, guys. If you enjoyed, you're definitely going to love this next part. I'm about to link up the kind of horror effects part that really put me on the map. It's got over 20,000 views, really goes in depth into some other dope horror effects. Click that as soon as I'm done talking. The thumbnail is going to pop up. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys there.